All right. I am live apparently. And let me turn. Not that you guys need to see my beautiful face, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right. Are we good to go? Are we live? According to this, I am. Hey, Breeze, what's happening? Sound okay? Everything good? Yep, there we go. Cool. All right. There we go. What is happening, Breeze? How are you, my friend? All right. So we'll give it a minute, see if anybody hops in, and we will get started. Anybody else, I should say, because you're already here. I gotta adjust my chair. All right. So how have things been going with your Out of the Park series, Breeze? My office is freezing. My office is freezing. I forgot to turn the wall. I wasn't expecting to do this today, but Random Task asked me if I was going to stream, so I said, sure, why not? I got time. Figure I was going to be playing Out of the Park baseball anyway. I may as well play it up in my office with other people watching me. But that meant my heat hadn't been on since yesterday at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had to come up in my office, turn the heat on, and it's cold up here right now. So that is that. So yeah, it's I assume that well, I shouldn't assume. It's bad to assume, but we are at July 1st here in year number 2 with the Cubs. We are 34 and 43. We're not absolutely horrible. We've got a pretty darn good pitching staff. Best starters ERA in the National League. Defensively, we're average to above average, depending on how you want to look at it. And then offensively is where we struggle. As you can see, we just don't have much offensively. Dansby Swanson's having a pretty solid season for us. Grandal's doing a nice job. Suzuki's doing a nice job. Horner's starting to hit. He was hitting like a $1.99 after the first month of the season or something, $1.53. Yeah, so he's started to pick it up, which is nice. We need his bat at the top of the order. Casey Schmidt, who we picked up right before the season started, has had a good year for us, on pace for 25 home runs. But ultimately, that's it. Ultimately, that is it. So we are going to, thank Ryan McKenna for sure. Ball hit him right in the heel of the glove, man, right in the heel of the glove. And, Duvall, he would have, his last time up, he hit that ball down the right field line, and if that right field wall was like a normal right field wall and a normal normal ballpark, it would have bounced off the wall, and that runner would have come around from first to score. So it was poetic, as I tweeted, that Adam Duvall got that opportunity and took advantage of it, and he's been really, really good through 2 games. So he's going to hit a ton of home runs in Fenway Park with that swing. That could end up being a pretty solid pick. So anyway, we are at July 1st. We've already, I kind of already did this at the end of the end of the last non-live episode, but wait a second, that's not right. Oh, I have the splits on all. Okay, what is going on here? Why is this? There we go. This is what I wanted to do. It told me Pete Crow Armstrong was second on my team in WAR. He's played 5 games. So Dansby Swanson's at 3 WAR through half a season. You can't complain there, right? He's on pace for a 6.5 win season. He gives us that. That would be terrific. Grandal, 1.2 WAR. We signed him right at towards the end of free agency. Probably try to move him before these numbers drop too much. Casey Schmidt's done a nice job. Suzuki has fallen off as of late. He was really hot at the beginning of the season. Talked about Horner already. Velasquez, it's been fine. He's been average. Nick Gordon, we just picked up for Cody Bellinger. We traded Bellinger so we could call up Crow Armstrong. Willie Abreu, It's been our leadoff guy. The average isn't there, but the eye and discipline. If he can get that contact up to a 50, I think he'll be fine as a leadoff man. How say I don't know. I hate you. I hate you. Hey, they won today. I don't care how they won. He's 3-2 with a 5.10 this year. 5-6 with he won 5 games in 33 starts in 2023 for the Sox. Hey, I don't care who gets the win as long as they get the win. So they are 1-1 as of right now, which I believe is the same record as your Blue Jays, right? So anyway, let's see we just called up Crow Armstrong. Glad for the side. Well, I'm glad you're here, Trent, and I appreciate it. You can thank Random Task. I don't know if he's here or not, if he's lurking or if he's going to come in later, but he was the one who suggested it to me in Discord. I figured I was going to be sitting on my couch in my basement playing out of the park baseball. Anyway, so I may as well come up into my office and do it. Took care of the I appreciate that. Thanks, Ranger. I saw that game ending it with a game-ending double play. You love to see it. So, yeah, nothing but love, Josh. You know that. All right, so it's July 1st. The plan today is obviously draft and trade deadline, and we'll kind of go from there. FJ, my man, what is happening? All my regulars are here. I love it. Love it. Love that you guys are coming and hanging out and supporting me. I mean, just giving me somebody to talk to about it. I actually, today for the first time in ages, I got up and yelled at the TV when Duvall hit that ball. I don't react like that to a baseball game very often, but just the way that 9th inning went today, it was I got a little carried away, you could say. All right, so let's get going. Let's get up to the draft, shall we? Cubbies lost. Their starting pitching's been really good, though, right, Shawnee? They've, I think their two starting pitchers have given up no earned runs. Is that correct? Do I remember that correctly? Somebody mentioned to me that Smiley, awesome. Yeah, I didn't. I guess I was reading this and getting confused. So he has an opt out. But even if he opts in, I can decline the team option. So we'll be done with Smiley after this year, which is good, which is great. So that'll be money we don't have to worry about. No, and would be an improvement over what Sale was today. 7 runs in 3 innings. Yeah, that's not good enough. 3 home runs that I think 2 of them still haven't landed. Come on. Oh, I got to finish the day. What are we doing here, guys? Come on. Hey, we win a game. Put a third base. Who'd they put in right field? Well, I mean, they did that with Bryant, and it worked with him. So maybe they thought they would put somebody in right field. They don't think Clark Schmidt is locally popular. The draft record is dumb. Like, you can't. I hate Tom Ricketts. He's a schmuck. Nobody in the top 10 still. Where is our minor league system? We moved up. Oh, yeah, we moved way up. We're 10th. So Alexis Hernandez is number 33. We got Crow Armstrong, who's 39. Ballesteros, the catcher. Cassie, and then Hodge. Stroman and Steele went 6 scoreless. Skinny Pete, how you doing, my man? Just suffering through the Lamar saga. Yeah, I saw that the Patriots weren't interested in Lamar, and that shocked me. I just feel like if it's a potential, like, you have to at least look into it, right? You have to at least look into it and say, what would it cost? And it's probably $250 million guaranteed. He's going to get one of those fully guaranteed contracts, I'm sure. So we win here. We win 2-0 as Griffin continues to pitch well. Foster Griffin pitching well for us. Wisniewski and Coleman. Oh, that's right. We have a studly back of our bullpen. Now, I forgot about that. I'm excited about Carson Coleman and Eduardo Nunez. So we picked up Coleman last episode for Brandon Hughes and Fabrizio, who's just filler catcher. So we picked up Carson Coleman, and then we had Eduardo Nunez just develop overnight, and he looks like he's a stud as well. Wow, okay, there's a lot. Mastrobuoni, okay, he's filling in. Wasea is out, but he misplayed a ball. Most outfielders would have gotten caught. You mean like Ryan McKenna did today for the Orioles? Steele was filthy today with his slider. You're doing a red save. You're in your thirds. You signed Soto. And yeah, I've noticed that the game, for whatever reason, the Astros never re-signed Bregman. He's always a free agent, but that's a good offseason for sure. Kansas City Sean, what is up, my friend? How are you? You're buying a World Series Yankee style. Hey, you do what you got to do, man. Steele was filthy today with his slider. Teams are claiming that it's because he's missed games is the reason they don't want Lamar. Have any teams even shown interest? Not even his own team have shown interest in him. Not even his own team, which is a bit weird. So I wonder how that will all play out. And you're right, Trent. They can't draft receivers. They would have to make a move for Hopkins or for Jerry Jeudy. You have Murakami, Yamamoto, and Sasaki in your sock save. Did they come into the game? I didn't think Sasaki was in the game. Did you import them? I don't know about that, Breeze. There are always players who say negative things about Bill Belichick and the Patriots. It goes all the way back to Ted Johnson, who's one of the Patriots analysts now, or one of the analysts on local TV in Boston. He hates Belichick. It's always gone back. There's always somebody. So we win here 4-3 over the Yankees. Brash pitches 4, walks a bunch. Tyone gets the win. He's actually pitching pretty well in relief. He's not happy, but he's pitching well in relief. Nunez and Coleman. Yeah, if we can get the lead, if we can go into the 8th with the lead, we're in pretty damn good shape. You custom built them. Post them in Discord. I want to see how you had them looked, because I know Murakami should be a beast power wise, and Sasaki's going to be a stud, man. It's a shame he can't get posted for 3 more years or something like that. 2026, I think, is when Sasaki can get posted. Yeah, 11-game shutdown streak by Coleman. So lost a game 4-3 in extra innings. Not great. Mac Jones mad at the stuff? No, he's not mad at the staff. Everybody was mad at what's his face? The non-offensive coordinator. How come I can't think of his name? What's wrong with me? So Crawford goes 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. Abreu and Crawford each homer. Griffin with another win. Bill just says what he says, man. He's like a grandpa. He just says whatever he feels like saying. It doesn't really matter. Like, who's going to stop him? Right, exactly, Trent. They had a defensive coordinator calling plays. Tyone's hurt. Kind of what we were hoping for, right? I hate to say this, but we're hoping for like a major injury to him that causes him to retire after this season. That's really the hope. We're just going to go ahead and stick him on the DL now. We'll bring Smiley back in. Smiley in as a long reliever. Yeah, Matt Patricia. Thank you, Breeze. He has a max contract he can be offered that would make a ton of sense for. You basically exported them from Out of the Park 21 and updated them a bit. Sasaki can leave as a free agent in 2027, but he can be posted earlier than that. Only reason that's unlikely is that he's so young that he has a max contract that can be offered that would make a ton of sense to him. Gotcha. He's going to make a ton of money. As long as he stays healthy, he is going to make a crap ton of money, whether it's from a Japanese team or whether it's from a team in the United States. This has been a bad stretch of baseball. I think we've won 3 games this month. Tyon's out for 4 months. Right, let's just play the game on this day. Yeah, we had another loss. All right, so we're picking 4th. So we dropped from 3 to 4. Reds, Nationals, Marlins. Let's see what we got for draft potential here. So we're picking 4th. Ooh, that's not good. Not a lot of good pitching prospects here. You got Pfeiffer? Hank Pfeiffer, yes. But he's a college or a high school pitcher. I hate drafting high school pitchers. I probably wouldn't take him fourth overall. James Nesta, he looks okay too, but another high school pitcher. Yeah, it always does though. It always does. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. There are certain players that the game just doesn't like. Let's hope we've got some good bats. Looks like we might be taking a shot at a high school player here, which I don't love. You got Alex Mooney. So there's one elite player, and it's Theo Gillen, and he's likely to be taken number 1. Yeah, it's not a great draft. Derek Curiel looks okay. $12 million. Connor Griffin. Pretty well developed for an 18-year-old. Well, this sucks. We have the 4th overall pick, and this is kind of what we're dealing with. The second season draft always seems to be weak. I've seen that in the first year. I mean, to be fair, I've only played, I think, 3 second-year drafts. So, all right, well, let's see what's available to us. We assume Theo Gillen is going to go number 1. He does. Yeah, I have highly favors Tools Scout. It's the only way to go. And he's really, really good. So hopefully he never retires and we can keep him forever. You took a complete bust in 2024 in my save, so you believe it? Yeah. Every time your team is bad, there's a terrible draft. Whenever you're good, there's a good draft. Yup, that sounds about right. Oh, what are we doing? Draft. Wish we could trade this year's draft for next year's draft. Washington takes James Nesta, who had those 3 solid pitches. 3rd pick, Miami takes Bryce Rayner. Low work ethic. I wouldn't have taken him either. All right, so we can go after someone like Curiel, who is very good defensively, can play any of the, probably not right field with a 55 arm. He's probably a center fielder, but he can play center. He can play left. He's passable and right. He's got good contact. The rest of the profile's just okay. Or we can take a shot at a high school pitcher, as Hank Pfeiffer is still there. He's not terribly underdeveloped for an 18-year-old pitcher. 4 potential plus pitches. I don't like the low work ethic. First 3 drafts are usually terrible. You got lucky that the AI didn't take an elite starter. You got him at 27. Oh, yeah, you showed us that guy in Discord. You said you were salty about it for like 2 years afterwards. Yeah, I know I could just not sign, but that, I don't know. Like, there's always that part of me that says, well, what if I draft this guy and this is and I don't sign him and this is what he becomes? You know what I mean? Like, this guy's an ace. I mean, I think I hate drafting high school pitchers early, but I don't know that there's a bat here that screams, what am I doing? That screams number 4 overall pick. Griffin looked okay. High work ethic. I mean, he's a left fielder. He looked okay. Griffin's not bad. Go after Mooney if we want kind of a lower ceiling type guy. Again, not a shortstop. He's a second baseman. But he looks okay. Did he win the Cy Young? Well, then there you go. See, I don't know. Tommy White. No. Well, he's terrible defensively. Will Taylor's not a... I mean, he's not a bad option. But again, at number 4, like if we were picking late in the first round, like this to me feels like a slam dunk, right? With that type of speed, that type of defense, that screams leadoff hitter, right? But at number 4, not good enough for, Griffin looked good, not good enough for 4th. You think you count on one hand how many early round high school pitchers you've drafted? Right, and that's my issue, FJ. Like I've drafted a couple of, I have such a hard time developing developing pitchers in general. I don't know why, but I have such a hard time developing pitchers. But I've really, especially in 24, really started gravitating towards college players, and I kind of like Will Taylor. If we're being honest, why not Curiel? I don't know. He's not bad. He's obviously really good defensively. I mean, if you compare him to Taylor, right? Like, let's compare the two, because I think, one's got a 70 overall rating, one's got a 55 overall rating. So if you look at the two of them, what does Curiel do better than Taylor? Nothing. Other than his contact, literally nothing. Taylor is better across the board, yet Taylor's a 55 overall and Curiel's a 70. The secret to developing pitchers is to draft pitchers. I don't know what you mean. You just mean like eventually I'm going to hit on somebody. So yeah, I mean, I look at this and I go, Curiel's not bad, but Taylor's better now, and he's potentially better across the board. Literally everything. His base running is better. His bunting ability is better. He's not going to hit maybe for as high a contact defensively. A bit better outfield error, but everything else is comparable. Unless you guys can give me a reason why I shouldn't take Will Taylor, I think I'm going to take Will Taylor. Just draft as many as possible, right? That's why I tend to draft pitchers unless there's a surefire pick in there, like a college kid who's going to start in AA or something like that. I tend to draft my pitchers, and you see me do this. I tend to draft my pitchers based off their pitch type. 20 contact difference is huge. It is huge, but Curiel's 19. So, I mean, what are the odds he ever gets there? I mean, that's the other thing. Curiel wants, that's the other thing. Curiel wants $12 million and Taylor wants $9 million. So it's a small difference, but it's a difference. It's it's a $3 million difference. I'm leaning towards Taylor just because I've got a thing for college players. South of scene. Yeah, I noticed him too. His defense isn't great though. He's not a shortstop. I like the contact. If his infield range was better, like you could stick him at the bottom of the order and be pretty happy with a high an OPS that's driven by on base percentage and batting average. But yeah, his range isn't good enough. Taylor seems like the pick. Yeah, that's the way I'm leaning too. Will Taylor. Not a great draft. Both are going to take basically the whole budget. Yeah, my budget's like 10, but yeah, I mean, you're right. What is my budget? I think I put it up over 10, didn't I? Yeah, it's right at 10. All right, well, it just means we got to be at slot with everybody else, which is fine. Not a problem. All right, so Will Taylor. Go to the next pick. Hey, Ashton, how you doing, my man? Yes, it absolutely is addicting. All right, so what do we got here in the second round? Oh, my gosh. Now, this is where I may cut bait and not sign a second-round pick. This is really brutal. Screw defense to just get the best hitting possible. It's interesting. I mean, it's definitely a way you can go about doing it. Yeah, I may just draft somebody Like, I don't care. Like, let's draft Aiden Harris. I think I may draft somebody and not sign a second-round pick because there's just nothing there. Let's see what I'm at, just out of curiosity. Oh, I can't because I'm... Oh, actually, I can. I can check Steam. You don't want to know what I'm at right now, Shawnee. You don't want to know what I'm at right now. Keep in mind that I work from home when I tell you guys this. So I literally have Out of the Park Baseball up all day while I'm working, while I'm working, and the game's been out for 2 weeks. So it just sits open all day, like 5 days a week. I'm at 150 hours already. So yeah, that's... The game is probably open 15 hours a day. Yeah, I think we just take... Let's take Henry Allen. What's his demand? His demand's only $650. Just keep going. Yeah, it's bad draft. It's really disappointing. I have gone deeper in my saves, but yeah, I sit at my computer. Like I said, this is my personal computer. Then to my left is my work computer. So I'll sit like this and I'll do my work and I'll answer a couple emails and I'll come back over here and I'll sim a month and then I'll come back over here and I'll answer a couple emails and then I'll come back. Yeah, so that's how I do things. But when am I going to eclipse the 1K hour mark? I don't know. Month? Maybe. Brody Breck, 21-year-old, 4 good pitches. He's a possibility. Any knuckleballers? Sorry, Josh, no knuckleballers. Circle change. Zajowski is bad. He's bad. Well, there we go. That looks like a pretty good third-round pick to me. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher with low work ethic, but he's got some potential. He's got the circle change. So let's take Eric Chalice with our third pick. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll sign our first round pick. We won't sign our second round pick, and then sign our third round pick and kind of go from there. And I can't believe it's the 4th round and we're already looking at I'm going to take Brody Breck. I like the fastball potential. He's not particularly good, but we'll see how it goes. Already looking at fielding ratings and you had to look at Steam. Let's see where I am for Out of the Park 23. Oh, I can't. I don't have 23 on Steam. To give you an idea, Out of the Park Baseball 22, I played 3,100 hours. Out of the Park 21, I played just under 2,000 hours. Out of the Park 20, I played 1,900 hours. I played 2,100 hours of Out of the Park 19, and I played 2,100 hours of Out of the Park 18. And again, I've been working at home for a decade, so this is just what I do. We don't even have any 70-plus outfield range defense. This is a terrible draft. Come on. I play this game entirely too much. Entirely too much. Cameron Davis isn't terrible if he develops, I guess. Good speed, good range, has some power. Sure, Cameron Davis. Get ourselves at least 165 overall. Jade Melendez. We need a catcher. You always need decent catchers in the system. It's not our pick. Now it's our pick. You go hard and burn yourself out. Yeah, I get that. I don't have to, I mean, I literally, I go from my chair here down to my couch and I sit down there and I watch TV and, when my kids go to bed, I got nothing else to do. So I just play video games. Where am I on East Side Hockey Manager? I'm only at 770 hours on East Side Hockey Manager, which is another game I love, by the way. But yeah, I'm only at 700 plus 700 hours for that. Lane Forsythe. Any speedsters and base stealers? I don't know. Let's look. Clifford Pless III. Jerry and Ely. We're going to go Jerry and Ely. He's 23 years old. He's decent enough in the outfield. He's got that speed. He's never going to develop, but, I mean, he might. Oh, wait, no, we wanted Melendez, right? Now it's going to be our pick. Now we're going to take, or are we? Let's just take a look at some of these other guys real quick. Yeah, Ely has the best profile of that top bunch. 4,000 hours in Eastside Hockey Manager, huh? How long have you been playing that game? I mean, the game's been around forever, but that's a lot of hours in Eastside Hockey Manager. Batting potential for Ely. I mean, he was okay. I mean, the contact was a 30 or whatever, so he's never going to hit enough. But Chris Newstrom, we couldn't sign him. It's bonus demand like that. It's a shame I didn't look at that earlier. I mean, he's the first. Actually, if we sign him first, no, we have to sign him. I don't think we would have enough to sign him. I don't think we'd have enough to sign him. We only have $10 million. New to this genre is EHM updated every year? No. Well, yes, sort of. Eastside Hockey Manager is updated by the mod community every year. The game people was actually Sega. They don't update the game anymore, so the game itself isn't changing. It's updated by the mod. You can download like new seasons every year through the mod community, but the game itself doesn't get updated anymore. You got it late in 2017 or 2018. It sims so slow. Yeah, it does. It sims very slowly. This draft is terrible. Like, I'm at a point where I already want to stop drafting and just let the AI finish it. I think we're just going to take Newstrom and see if we can figure it out. We'll just see if he'll take $1 million rather than $1.4 million, which is I think all we can offer him. Here's another one. PJ Moreland. We're just going to keep drafting catchers. Catchers who can hit, and if they can't field, we'll stick them at first base. G. Allen. G. Let's go back to individual pitch potential. Shep Hancock. That is a name. That is a name. Yeah, the EHM community is small, but I mean, I love the fact that we'll take Cam Day just because he's got the high work ethic and 3+ pitches. And I think that's going to be it. Yeah, we'll let the AI finish from here. It's a small community, but it's a dedicated community. Taking your approach. Yeah, you just draft you draft a catcher for every pitcher that you draft so that every pitcher can have a personal catcher. You see how I'm doing it? See how I'm handling it? Okay, so I don't believe, he's going to be hard overall, so I don't think we're going to be able to sign him because we need to sign Taylor first. Is there some way that we can save? Is there some way we can save $400,000? But I don't believe there is. So we're gonna just sign all these guys, and we are not going to. Do we want to sign Chalice? Yeah, let's sign Chalice. We'll get ourselves a second-round pick next year, or a couple of second-round picks next year. Hopefully the draft is a little bit better. All right, we'll just kind of leave it at that. Got 109 hours in 21 and 49 and 22. You don't know for 23. Yes, I gave you that. Oh, speaking of that, and you guys are all aware of this, and I think you all have a copy of it at this point, but tomorrow night I'm giving away a Steam copy of Out of the Park 23 over on GM Games in that during that live stream. So just something to keep in mind if you've got nothing better to do. Alan Chu, his ratings have dropped substantially since last year, and he's not a good knuckleballer. Have his ratings gotten any better? No, he's terrible. Blame Josh for that one. And our first round pick is not developing well as either. So this hasn't been a good, this hasn't been, TCR is going to have to do some heavy lifting for him to become, yeah, probably. But TCR always has to do some heavy lifting with pitchers because I can't develop them myself. How is Estuary Ruiz looking? I know he's looking good in your, oops, did I spell it? That's how you spell Estuary. How does he spell it? Estuary. 239 last year was 64 stolen bases. 264 this season, 27 out of 28 in stolen bases. So he's kind of doing the same thing in everybody's playthrough. And guys, if you haven't dropped Skinny P to follow yet, please go over to his YouTube channel and drop him a subscribe over there as well. I would appreciate it if you could do me that solid if you haven't already. Thank you very much. He's got an A series going on over there, and so far so good for him, I think. His A series is certainly looking better than mine did. You're as disappointed and good. You should be. It's your responsibility. All right, so we are past draft day. So now we start thinking about trades. And as much fun as the trade deadline kind of mini game is, I'm still more a believer in making deals leading up to the deadline. So let's see what prospects. Really, nobody wants Yasmani Grandal given the season he's had, huh? Yeah, you certainly are trying, Breeze. I'll give you that. 86 OPS and a 3 WAR. You remember in earlier in the season? Okay, so nobody wants Grandal. That's a bit surprising. I assumed because we have we're going to switch this. We are going to switch this to 30-40. So the game will put more weight on the current year stats. I lost my train of thought completely. Oh yeah, RJ Mayer. And in my offline save, he put up a 42 OPS plus or something and was still positive WAR because of his defense. It was just absurd. So next year, Smiley is off the books. So that's $10 million off of this 125. So it puts us down to 115. Probably be able to cut another $5 or $6 million just in arbitration and other secondary type deals as well. So, excuse me. The real question is, when do we start to think about moving Seiya for, I say realism's sake, but I mean, he's just not worth what he's being paid. Our players are so bad that I can't pay other teams to take them. It's just kind of how it goes. Let's try again once we've switched the ratings here a little bit. That's true. RJ Mayer is literally the GOAT. That's a good point. That's a good point. I did probably leave him on my team about a year or two longer than I should have. His last 2 seasons with the Red Sox in my offline save, he put up 26 and 19 OPS pluses. I think maybe I kind of rode that a little bit harder than I should have, but it's okay. So yeah, it's a bummer that nobody wants any of these players. We don't want Adbert Azalea. Maybe we can trade a reliever. That's not going to do much for us. Yeah, there's just not much here that is. Why is Bodie still showing up? Oh, right, we're retaining. That's not an ARB number. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to. I mean, Crawford is another one. Like, Crawford's had a good year for us, but the ratings are starting. His ratings aren't great. We're not going to bring him back. Maybe his defense will have some value to another team. Say his contract, yeah, it's rough. It's rough. And I feel bad for him because much like the Red Sox, I have a feeling Cubs fans will turn on him before too long. So Crawford and Grandal, neither of them overly expensive, both playing well, and nobody's interested in. Wow, San Diego State beat Florida Atlantic at the buzzer. That was an 11-point game when I shut it off to get ready streaming. That's crazy. Yeah, there's nobody wants any of the players we have. Nobody wants any of the players we have, and we're not going to want any of the players that are on the trade block, because what I'm seeing is that the trade block is all veterans, which I mean, it makes sense in some context, but I wish the trade block would be more of, a trade block. These are the players we're looking to trade. However, maybe there's a team that is in contention that's willing to move a prospect, and they have that prospect on the trading block or something like that. Like, I'd love to get Woodruff. We can't, we can afford him, right? Yeah, I mean, we could afford him and potentially re-sign him, but I don't know that we have the pieces to get him, especially given the dearth of our prospect pool at the lower levels. All right, let's just sim ahead a few days and see what we see. Is it fine or cheese that you traded for Moncada for a couple of men prospects and they retained 95% of his $25 million? No. I mean, if the AI accepts the offer, the AI accepts the offer. I mean, how the game works. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So we win 6-1. Abreu a couple of hits and an RBI. Horner a couple of hits and an RBI. Grandal a couple of hits and an RBI. Brash with 5 shutout innings. Back-to-back wins over the Tigers. Velazquez at the top of the order, 2 for 4 with 5 RBI. Horner had a couple hits. Schmidt's a couple hits. 3 runs knocked in. Velazquez homers twice. Schmidt hits his 14th. Schmidt, I feel like, is somebody we can build around, because even if the bat never develops, because right now he's probably hitting out of position in the 3-hole, right? Like, he's not a 3-hitter. But with that defense, he could be a 6-hitter and be really valuable to the team. So that's been, the best pickup we've had so far in 2 years. Yeah, 95% is pretty wild. They were obviously pretty anxious to get him off the books. So so Chalice agreed. Taylor agreed. We have to go in and make sure he's in the right. I want him starting in A-ball. We will lock down his AI promotion. Same thing with Chalice. Start him there as well. Anybody need a call-up? Cassie's not hitting well enough in high A. Triantos can get called up. Wilkins actually, I mean, the ratings are dropping, but he's hitting the ball really, really well at the lower levels. So that's at least signs for a little optimism. Look at all these players. Yeah, Nicholas Sanders, that one hurts. I knew it. Like, this is a guy who had 70 overall power or whatever when we drafted him. And I just knew that wasn't going to last. I just knew it. It's so annoying. I get it though. I get it. It's these players aren't, they aren't polished coming out of wherever they're coming out of. You have the trade difficult. They really wanted him. Maybe they didn't like him. Have the trade difficulty on default. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's fine. And if you feel it was okay, then it was okay. I don't believe in kind of the idea of, I cheesed the game. I mean, if you're fine with it, then it's fine. It's your game. Play it however you want. Cubs, we had Ballesteros Alexis Hernandez and Owen Cassie in the prospect game, who made the All-Star team from the north side. Grandal. Yasmani Grandal made it for the Cubs, and he is the only one, and nobody wants him. Nobody wants all-star catcher Yasmani Grandal. How's PCA doing? I don't think he's doing particularly well out of the chute. Yeah, he's hitting 164, 9 for 55 so far, which is a bit surprising. The ratings are the definition of average. So, you would think that maybe he would be an average offensive player, but not to this point. He is struggling so far. So let's get through the All-Star break, and then we'll try to trade Grandal again, and then we'll just do some simming. Because once we get through the 31st, it's just smooth sailing to the end of the season, right? Use who, Breeze? Moncada? I'll trade you Chris Sale for him. Somebody has to want him. It doesn't make any sense to me. Armstrong is what we want RJ Mayer. Right, exactly. The difference is that you can draft RJ Mayer in the 15th round of the draft. Speaking of RJ, we have to look at RJ. We haven't even looked at RJ yet. We haven't seen how he's developing. Yep, that looks about right. Although he is hitting in rookie ball, but yeah, that looks about right. Let's call him up to A ball because he is hitting, and we will disable his AI promotion. We'll just screw around with it. But yeah, that feels about right for Mr. Mayer. The overalls have all gone up, but the potentials have dropped. I'd be worried too, Shawnee. And do what you can to get Mr. Mayer healthy. All right, so we got the Phillies for 3 or something. Games don't really matter, right? Like in this second season. We win, though. We win. I'd like to stay close to 500. At least that makes me feel like there's some sort of improvement. We were, 60-something and 90-something? 67 and 95. So I'd like to stay. If we can stay with this winning percentage, I'd feel okay with that because that's growth, right? That's improvement. And maybe year 3 is when we really kind of pick things up. Swanson and, Morel, each with a couple RBIs. Brash doesn't go far enough into the game. But again, we get down into the 9th inning and we're able to hold on. Your catch positional rank that's 20. Oh, yeah. Looks about RJ, yes. Looks about RJ. It's a shame. We're still pitching really well. We're 4th in the National League in runs against. 2nd starters ERA, 5th in bullpen ERA. Defensively, we're average. We are just horrific. We're a horrific offensive team. But we are a very good pitching team. So we just need to add some bats to our lineup. What was I going to look at? Oh, I wanted to see what do we have for upcoming free agents. From a pitcher perspective, we got Buehler and Glasnow. Glasnow was a huge part of my Rockies playthrough a couple of years ago on GM Games. Huge part of that. A lot of good pitchers coming out. Buehler, Glasnow, Woodruff, Lopez. They're all going to require a draft pick. But, if you can get, really any one of these. I would take Pablo Lopez. I can't imagine he's going to want that much money. But if you can get any one of these guys for a 3rd-round pick, I think you do it. But what I'm focused on is the offense. Bregman would be a huge get for us. Getting TA7 to come over to the north side from the south side would be huge as well. We should have some money to play with. I don't know how much, but a couple of bats there, assuming they don't re-sign. Another loss. Yeah, I want to keep that winning percentage, between 440 and 500. That would be great. doubleheader today against the Mets. So got better. As we win both ends of the doubleheader against the Mets. Let's go. That's awesome. Velasquez 3 for 5, 3 RBIs. Horner has a couple hits. Miller pitches 5. Then in game 2, there we go. PCA 2 for 4, 3 runs knocked in. Griffin picks up another victory. Excellent. Aaron Judge, it's his 300th career home run. 62 home runs, 57 a year ago. And that average, man, he's hitting for average, too. That's crazy. Contract is still brutal, but anyway. Brian Reynolds is down and out with an injury. That stinks. Devers is your first baseman. 65-65. Third baseman who can hit contact with decent gap power is doing. Who are you talking about, Breeze? You're all over the place. We were talking about Grandal. Now you're talking about Devers. Who are you talking about? You got me confused. I wanted to look at because he got better. As I think his movement just went up. Yeah, right there. Movement. I guess his movement stayed the same. His control went up, so that must be what I saw. It says he's only a 5th starter, but I don't know. Pitching really well, so I'm not really going to complain about it. Let's keep on moving. So we lose that one. It was, what, like 16-1 or something like that? I know the Rangers have scored more than 10 runs in their first 2 games, and that's the first time it's happened in, I don't know, 60 years or so. I don't remember the day. I just saw it. It was some ridiculous number. So we got Pittsburgh at home, so hopefully we can win a few games here. Soap, does he pick up the win? He does. 5 1/3 of 1-run ball. Schmidt, Coleman, Uceta. Abreu hits his 11th. Oh, we're coming up on the deadline. I just realized that. Ohtani retired at 32. We lose 6-4. Non-alcoholic beer is done. We're going to switch to tea from now on. Yeah, our offense is like horrifically bad. We're 12 games under 500, but we've only been outscored by 12 runs. That feels kind of Pythaggy screwed up. Where are we? What's our Pythag? Yeah, we should be 48-50 according to our Pythagorean due to our Pythagorean record. Yeah, we just can't hit. We're 11-16 in 1-run games. We just simply can't hit the baseball. Trout looks like he had a big game. All right, so anybody on the block that we would have any interest? Yeah, again, you've got Woodruff, but I don't know that we have enough in the coffers to get him, and I would rather put our money towards offense given, Bregman's on the block. He's not playing well, so maybe we take a look at Bregman. Property, though, I don't know what you consider property. It's in this. It is a passion fruit tea. I didn't want to drink chamomile because I didn't want to fall asleep, and I didn't want to drink green tea because I didn't want to be up until 4 a.m. Juan Soto was on Baltimore. Yes, my Red Sox did just beat them. All right, so I don't even know where to start with this. Let's give you Alcantara. Yeah, right, I can't even afford the contract. You would have to retain it. So our assistant GM just flat out wouldn't do this, but this to me feels like a bargain. Honestly, you stick Bregman over at first and just call it a day. You just did the Phillies and you sucked. Made some major moves for the deadline. He did better, but only good enough to get just about 500. The green tea. Green tea is my caffeine tea. Like if I wanted actual caffeine, I would just drink coffee. I have English tea in the house, Skinny Pete. I just didn't feel like having any. I have some. I just didn't feel like having any tonight. I wanted something that was a little fruity, and that's what this is. I mean, our scout is fine with it. My guess is they're going to tell us to go kick rocks, but let's try it. I guess my concern is, well, let's try it. Let's see. Yeah, and then immediately they come back and tell us no. Rat-a-tat, Matt. Yeah, the Phillies, they're an interesting test in Out of the Park 24. We were talking about that earlier because they've gone all in on the offense, right? Like they're an all offense team. They don't worry about defense, and it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that works out. Do I have anything that they even want that would make this work that I would be willing to do? I mean, our assistant GM hates it because we're putting a couple of I think we just wait. Just try to sign him in the offseason. Hope that he gets traded because we're not winning this year. So making a move to win this year doesn't make any sense. So I'm hoping maybe he gets traded to another team before the deadline, which means now there's no comp pick and we can just sign him without losing a draft pick. Do I want MLB to expand? Sure. I love a good expansion. I remember being super intrigued by the Marlins when they first arrived on the scene, so to speak. It was a fun team. That first Marlins team. I remember watching the first game, and we had good games here from Morel, Abreu. It's its 12th. Smiley gets the win. Hey, Preppy Salsa, how are you? What are my thoughts on 24? I think it's fantastic. I think some of the quality, I think this is the first time in a couple of years that I can honestly say that it feels like the developers said, and I don't know if they have like ulterior motives or not, but it feels like this is the first time in a couple of years that they've actually put effort into the offline game. So yeah, I think the upgrade to international free agency, the upgrade to the trade deadline. If you like to play the games, the in-game stuff is pretty neat. Yeah, what FJ said, at 24 is probably the best OOTP in a while. Probably since whatever it was where they released Perfect Team, probably since 20, realistically. That was your problem. Your hitters didn't hit. Schwarber was terrible. That stinks that Schwarber's bad. I love me some Kyle Schwarber. I really do. Really love me some Kyle Schwarber. All right. So I guess I don't know what we can do here. Smiley's been okay, but no one's going to want him. I mean, I guess if I retain... The spray chart alone is awesome. Yeah, the spray chart alone is awesome. I love the spray chart in-game. You like the improved shopping play? Yeah, I liked that too, where you can come in and you can offer, to multiple players and that sort of thing. Yeah, they did a really nice job with that, but they've made some they've made some pretty impressive additions here this season. It's an affront to your eyes. I mean, I wouldn't do it on every single player, but I think it's neat to look at. If you have a big situation and they just need to turn to pulsating, there should be an option, maybe to turn off the graphics or whatever. Skinny Pete, have a good night, my friend. I'll be waiting for your next episode. I've already watched the one you posted today, so looking forward to the next one. So we can pick up Will Brennan, an outfielder who can't hit, for Madrigal. I mean, Madrigal's just kind of rotting away in AAA. His ratings aren't awful. I mean, that's a leadoff hitter. He's not hitting this year, but he put up an 840 OPS a year ago. I mean, if I retain, does that change anything? I mean, I would actually be fine with a Madrigal for Brennan swap. Maybe make it more see-through. Yeah, I mean, it's a neat addition. It's a, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but again, you know, if it's an important situation and you want to look at the spray chart, then that's an easy way to tell. You know, I mean, it's right there in your face, and you had Brennan with your White Sox for a couple of years. I mean, that feels like an okay deal. It's going to save us a couple $1 million, you know, in arbitration next year, I think. Come on. Yeah, he's still making the minimum. So it only saves us $600,000 this year, but it should save us, you know, a couple $1 million next season. Sim ahead a day and see what they say. Your best pitcher got the... Well, that's how it should be, right? If your best pitcher gets the crown. All right, so we just got to send them. We win again, which is good. So who's the oldest player here? Nick Griffin. Works for me. Our assistant GM loves this deal. Boom goes the dynamite. So we're going to send Nick Madrigal and Nick Griffin to the Cleveland Guardians and get back Will Brennan. That saves us a little bit of money this year, but ultimately it saves us a couple of million off of next year's salary, off next year's payroll, which is the big thing. Schmidt, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Swanson knocks in 3. Coleman gets the win. Cool. All right, so we are going to have to put him on the 40-man. I think for now we just put him in AAA. I mean, we have, you know, our outfield is fine. Morel, Abreu, Cromstrong. I mean, until we can trade. I mean, I don't want to trade Velasquez because the growth, well, it looks like the growth maybe. Where does he still have growth? Defensively? And he's been okay. But, I mean, I would almost be more fine. I'm curious. Why don't I stream this on Twitch? I don't know, because I've never streamed on Twitch. I'm sorry, it's complicated to chat on. You get some offers here for Nelson Velasquez. Looks like mostly relievers. I actually thought about doing Twitch, but I don't know. Is there some way, like, I don't know enough about this stuff. Is there some way to do it on both? Can I stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time? Spencer Arrighetti? Maybe we pick up Arrighetti and we just continue to load up our bullpen. We picked up Arrighetti in our White Sox save. Kyle Muller, but again, we don't really need starting. Twitch sucks. Yeah, that's true. Breeze, I will be on Twitch tomorrow night over on General Manager Games, doing my White Sox playthrough over there. Thad Ward looks okay. I kind of like the idea of Arrighetti, honestly, and just loading up our bullpen. Especially if you aren't affiliated. Yeah, I'm not affiliated on anything. Imagine not, since Amazon owns Twitch and Google owns YouTube. I know, I mean, I don't know. I'll look into it. But yeah, when I first started streaming, I started doing it on YouTube. And this is just kind of what I got comfortable doing. So this is where I did it. So what do you think? Is this a trade that makes sense? We trade Nelson Velasquez, who has been, admittedly pretty good offensively. Not great, but pretty good offensively. We pick up Spencer Arrighetti, who could also potentially be a starter, and then we just load up for now the back end of our bullpen. Some guys you follow are able to do both. Yeah, I'll look into it. If I can do it on both, I will. I don't have anything against Twitch. I just never did it. Can we do this without giving up? Yeet him? Yeet Velasquez? Is there some way I can do it without, would you prefer Brennan Davis? I'd rather give up Davis. Let's see. Kind of hurts, but probably the smart move. You've always just done Twitch because it's where you've watched streams before. Yeah, that's where I watched most of my streams too, or on Twitch. I understand that. I just have found YouTube to be easier for me. So it looks like we can make this deal happen for next to nothing. So you want Luis Devers? So we give up Luis Devers and Brennan Davis, and get back Spencer Arrighetti. So eat Davis too. So get rid of them both. He's not really a farm guy anymore. He looks not great defensively. He's slightly above average. He's below average with the bat. He's already 24. I got to put him on the 40-man this year. I've got a lot of outfielders, that aren't that far behind, like even Taylor. Crow Armstrong's already up. Alcantara's out for a while, but this gives us another really good, kind of like Brash, right? Where the stamina's borderline, but if his stuff as a starter is a 65, then that's a good get. But yeah, we're going to pick up Arrighetti. Make him add Bregman or no deal. Bregman, we're looking to Bregman in the offseason. That's the plan. Looking to Bregman in the offseason. All right, so to make room, Leaper down, call Arrighetti up. And we've put together a really nice end of our, back of our bullpen here, I think. Uceta can go to middle relief. We'll get him out of the closer role. Yeah, Arrighetti, Nunez, and Coleman at the back of our, and they're all young and they're all cheap, right? 24, 25, and 26. Play hardball with the AI. It's hard to do that when you've got the game set on, when you've got the trading difficulty set on hard. So I try to play hardball with them, but it doesn't always work. All right, so we're a day away from the deadline. We'll just sim ahead, see if we have any offers made. Jim Jams, how you doing, my friend? How are you doing, my friend? How are the Tigers doing? First couple games of the season. Crow Armstrong with a nice game, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. Abreu reaches base 4 times. This is kind of what I was hoping for with him in the leadoff spot, right? With that 70 eye and discipline. But the average just hasn't justified it yet. Schmidt, a couple of hits. Crawford, 3 hits. I really want to move. Brash gets the win. I really want to move Crawford, and I really want to move Grandal. Those are the two. Those are the two pieces that I really am interested in moving on from here. But we haven't had much luck. Nunez is a beast for you too. He developed overnight. He was in high A ball at the end of season 1. And then when my second season started, he was a 75 overall guy. Okay, well, that's really bad. That's disappointing. Because he's having again, the ratings have dropped since I was trying to trade him before, but it is what it is. And then let's just sim ahead to deadline day. Trade deadline day has started. We haven't had any deals or offers made to us. So we got Nick Ahmed is available. And his terrible bat. Do a catcher flip maybe. Trade Grandal to somebody for a catcher who maybe isn't quite as good but is younger. And I don't want to just trade for White Sox. I don't want to turn this into White Sox North. Jorge Alfaro. Only the Cubs would move on from Hosmer in real life. The fans are already done with him. Yeah, I saw Mervis was hitting the ball really well so far in AAA. Alfaro's having a pretty good year. There's Bregman. Yeah, I'm hoping he gets traded so that we don't have to pay a comp pick if we're able to sign him. That's the hope here. Kike plays for Kansas City now. Interesting. Love me some Kike. He went yard today. Miguel Sano. Not a lot going on here. Navarez, but I believe his contract is up. Yeah. I was hoping maybe for a younger catcher and, maybe that wasn't quite as good, but I don't know that we're going to get that luxury. It's basically all players whose contracts end at the end of the season. Carson Kelly, again, contract expires at the end of the year. Danny Jansen, contract expires at the end of the year. It's literally, it's all expiring contracts. Okay. So there are not really any contracts that go into next year that we're looking to get rid of other than Tyon, and nobody wants him. I mean, let's discuss Seiya. I mean, let's just see. Yeah, it really is, Trent. It's slim pickings. And I've noticed that with the deadline so far is that usually it's relievers and starting pitchers that are making, $25 million or whatever that you can't. Yeah, I mean, like Suzuki, we're just not there. No one's willing to take on 3 years. Maybe next year. Problem is, once we get to next year, his ratings probably continue to decline. So could be an anchor, but yeah, like 95%, no one wants Suzuki. I retain all of Suzuki's contract. Nobody's interested. That's a little disappointing. Let's look at veterans. Maybe I should look at that. Maybe I can take a contract. And part of it is that we don't have any money this year either. So we can't take on, we can't take back. Like I made a trade in my offline save where I traded a player who was signed to like a 4-year contract. And then I ate like 25% of it, and then I brought back somebody who was making a lot of money, but it was just for 1 year, so I was able to do that. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I would prefer to not trade him and just let him stay in right field and have a gun out there, but yeah, the offense is just getting worse. So I don't know. Crawford's the only other one. He's the only other piece. I mean, I guess really there shouldn't be anybody on our team that is untouchable, with the exception of maybe that back end of our bullpen and then Swanson and Horner. Really anybody else we should be willing or able to trade, right? Yeah, it's all like this. I have no interest in that. Let's look at our 40 man. Let's do it that way. We're almost done with part 1 of the deadline. Let's see. We've got Stubbs, Steele. Anybody want? Keegan Thompson is, again, I mean, what are we going to get back for a Keegan Thompson? Really nothing. Alzolay, anybody? We can't trade him. All right, let's just sim until the next section of the trade deadline. Nick Pivetta traded to the Padres. Adam Kloffenstein traded for Almides Diaz and Jelfry Marte. The Cardinals trade Sessa and Ivan Herrera to the Blue Jays for Dalton Varsho. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, I was going to try to trade Alzolay, right? I don't think anybody's going to want him, but we'll see if anybody wants Adbear Alzolay. And we may just fire right through the deadline here because it doesn't appear as if anybody. I thought for sure with the production from Grandal and Crawford that there would be some interest, but turns out there's not. Catcher who's ARB eligible. We are going to need another catcher. I mean, he is 33, so it's not exactly going to help us. Same thing with Centeno. I mean, if these guys were 10 years younger, that would be an absolute, slam dunk. But yeah, I think we're good. I think we just go ahead and sim. Yep, just slim pickings in the deadline this year, which not great, but we'll deal with it. All right, so it's July 31st. Let's go ahead and yeah, Trenton. That's kind of the hope, right? I want to be able to improve the offense in the offseason. I still, depending on where we stand financially, I'm still looking to put money into scouting and development. My scouting and development budget isn't anywhere close to where I want it. I really would like those numbers probably doubled. So that's something I got to keep in mind, right? I got to continue to play better than we did the year before so that people keep coming out. I'll keep raising the ticket prices $1 or so. And then, hopefully scouting and development will catch up and then we'll be able to start spending some actual money on some actual players. So player development, Wisniewski gets better. That's nice to see. I mean, he is up to only a 45, but Nunez, his control gets better, which is good, or potential control gets better, which is good. Arrighetti has only pitched in 1 game so far. Carl Armstrong gets better. That's nice to see. The potentials are continuing to grow. Wilkin, that's excellent. Again, he doesn't look like he's going to be all that good, but, he'll be all right, I guess. Yuendris Gonzalez gets better. A lot of improvement for some lower minor league stuff. The lack of interest in Crawford is interesting. He's valuable to a team down the stretch. Yeah, you're right. No, it's he. In real life, Brandon Crawford and Grandal would generate additional, at least some sort of interest. Yeah, I love online gameplay too. I'm in 2 different leagues and I love it. In fact, I'm check right now. Have we simmed ahead? No, we haven't because we're still waiting on one person to export so we can get through opening day. But yeah, I love the online games. And honestly, I don't care if you're upset. Honestly, I get burned out on offline play with the exception of these live streams. Oh, it's random task. Oh, why aren't you in here as random task? Ashton, thank you, my man. I appreciate that. $2.20 Canadian. Love it. Would I want Major League Baseball to bring in a salary cap? I would not, because I'm a Red Sox fan. I would not like to see Major League Baseball institute a salary cap. But thank you so much, my man, for that donation. That's very, very cool of you. We went back-to-back games, and again, I want to keep that winning percentage if I can between 440 and 500. I think that's real growth, and that's a real possibility this year. Horner, 3 hits and an RBI. Griffin, 7 innings of 1-hit ball. Wow, he was good. Of course, it was against Pittsburgh, so you got to mind the competition, but still, back-to-back wins. Make it back-to-back-to-back wins. That's 3 straight victories for your Cubs, who are now only 9 games under 500. Carl Armstrong, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Morel and Suzuki each drive in 3. Brash improves to 7-7 on the year. All right. Casey Schmidt, diagnosis pending. That's not good. Hopefully that's not a long-term injury. It's like 30 cents American, but still. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's the thought that counts, as they say, right? That's pretty cool of you. I certainly don't do this to get donations. I make like $30 a month on my YouTube videos, so I certainly don't do it for the money. We'll call up Alcantara. And I think this is Nick Gordon's chance to shine. Let's stick Nick in the lineup. I don't know if I want to stick. I'm going to stick him at third because I'm not going to screw with Horner. I did that last year. I put Madrigal at second. I put Horner in at third, and I just don't want to do that. So Gordon will play third. I think we will call up or move Crawford up in the lineup. Bit of that. And Alcantara. We'll stick him at third against lefties. Swanson up. Do a little bit of that. All right. We'll just keep going. We'll see how long we'll sit for. It's only took us an hour and 15 minutes to get through the first month of the season. That's another one. It's 4 straight wins. 4 straight wins for the Cubs. Of course, 3 of them are over Pittsburgh. 1 is over Kansas City. That's 24 games under 500. But I don't care. 4 straight wins is 4 straight wins. 3 hits, 2 RBIs for Horner. Justin Steele pitches really well. I just looked up where we were only 6.5 games out of first place when I looked just a second ago. Now 7.5, but that's okay. 50 and 59. 50 and 60 as we lose a couple of games to Kansas City. We got Arizona now. So there's a 3-1 win. What do we got going on here? Suzuki hits his 9th. Mervis, couple hits. Armstrong has that average up to 214. So yeah, we're just gonna sim here. And I suppose I mean, what do you guys want to do? I mean, do you want me to keep simming like I am where I go day by day? Or do you want me to just fly through the rest of the season and get to the off season? Like, I don't care. I just know how I would sim it if I was sitting here by myself. I would just go day by day and I look at all the victories. That's just how I play the game. But you guys tell me how you want me to do it. If you don't care, I'll just keep doing it this way. 8 games out. We got a 3-game series in Baltimore as we're in the middle of August now. We're without Schmidt for another 3 to 4 weeks. See how things go against the Orioles. Do I think MLB expands to Canada? I would love to see Montreal get a team again. I had the opportunity a long time ago to go check out, what was it, Olympia Stadium? Is that what it was called? I would love for them to get another team. I think that would be great. Maybe day by day until the final month. All right, that'll work. This is a rough stretch. We just lost 3 in a row. Yeah, I would love for Canada to get another team. I think baseball belongs in Montreal. 100%. I don't know about Vancouver. I don't know about Vancouver, but I definitely think Montreal deserves another team. Any speed of simming you like the day by day, you're good. Okay. All right, we'll keep doing it this way. I like Trenton's idea. You know, maybe see if we can get to the end of August here in the next 10 or 15 minutes and then sim the end of the month and then get to our off season, or at least start the off season. Brash picks up the win. Yeah, I'm down for expansion. I love some good expansion at all levels and at all sports. So we were within 6.5 games. It's now 11.5. The Reds, look at the Reds. Pulling away in the National League Central. A lot of offense for Cincinnati. A lot of offense. Houston for 3, followed by Miami. Vancouver would suck like the Canucks anyway. Maybe. Maybe. So picks up the win. He goes 5 2/3 innings. We get RBIs from Crow, Armstrong, Morel, homers. Coleman. Look at Coleman, guys. He's a beast. 31 strikeouts, only 9 hits in 22 1/3 innings. How's Eric? Eric Eddie doesn't look like he's pitched much. Yeah, he hasn't. He's thrown 4 games. What is going on here? Middle relief, use more often. That's what we'll do. That'll get him in the game more. It's because Nunez is pitching all the games because he's a stop, all the close games because he's a stopper. So we'll bring Eric Eddie in as a middle reliever. Get him some more time. Another loss to Houston. Hey, we take 2 out of 3 against the Astros. We walk it off, much like the Red Sox did today. We walk off the Astros in the bottom of the 9th. Dansby Swanson with a home run in the bottom of the 9th inning off of Ryan Presley to win it. Hayden Wisniewski pitches an inning to get the win. You love to see that. You love to see a walk-off. End of the 2025 season, you turn the Reds into a 101-win team. The Reds seem to sim really, really well in this from what I'm seeing. In my offline save, they have been the best team, I would say start to finish, in the American League, or in the National League, rather. They haven't always had the best record, but I think start to finish, they've been the best team. So this is a good game. Alcantara had 3 hits. A couple hits for Crow Armstrong. Morel with a really good game. Rash picks up his 10th victory of the season. Steele going today. Look to climb. Nope, we lose to Miami. I was hoping to get to less than 10 games under 500, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen here. A couple losses to Miami. We got the Reds coming up. You did really? A complete teardown with the Reds? How'd you manage that? They don't really have anybody to trade. Did you trade like Hunter Green and like all those players? Wow. Okay. Interesting. When we get to the end of the month, I want to check. Wow, we've just lost like 4 games in a row. I want to check in on our draft picks. There's another loss. Yeah, again, that winning percentage is starting to fall off precipitously. Wanted to keep it between 440 and 500. We're now down under 440 as we've lost how many games in a row? Is it 6 in a row? Yeah, 6 in a row. Our PyFag is -7, guys. -7. We are 16 games under 500, and we have a -5 run differential. We need to figure out the offense. Our pitching staff has been really, really good this year. We need to figure out, and our defense has been good too. We just need to figure out. Look at Nick Gordon coming in and hitting the baseball. We need to figure out. The offense. Need to figure out the offense. Sucked for 2 years and spent big in free agency. Let's see if it works. That's how teams do it, right? There's another loss, 7 in a row. D-backs made the playoffs in year 2. They'll probably, yeah. Oh, man, this is a rough stretch. 7 straight losses. So we'll get to September 1st here in a second. We'll look at our draftees, and then we'll see. Yeah, we lose again. Not good. Anybody here that we're super concerned about? You said it, not really. He was a waiver wire pickup. How do you say that? Ravage? Why did he spell Javier backwards? Is that his father's name, I'm assuming, like Nomar and Ramon? Chalice was one of our draft picks, and yeah, it looks about right. Wilkin, he's hitting. I mean, he's still hitting the ball. He's got 36 home runs this season in A-ball and high A-ball, but yeah, he's just, I don't know. Not thrilled with our draft picks here so far in the early going. Passy looks like he got a little better. Where is Will Taylor? And he's trucking along. I mean, I'm totally fine with that. He starts next season in high A ball. Have him along Crow Armstrong in a couple of years. It'd be a very good defensive outfield. Work for me. All right, so we can call up 2 players. Who do I call up? I don't really care. We'll call up Leaper because he was up earlier. And we'll call up Garcia. Sure, I don't really care. Leaper will be long relief. We're okay here. We're okay here. And let's go to next month. Just kind of see how the rest of this playthrough goes. We're 18 games under 500. Make it 19. Sim speed is still not that fast, and I only have 3 leagues going. Schmidt's eligible to come off the DL, so we can send Garcia back down. Call Schmidt back up. Oh, look who's on the injured list. The GOAT. Hitting 308 in A-ball. Look at that. Look at RJ. 7 home runs in 33 games. The GOAT. Raking. Love it. Schmidt will go back in the lineup at 3rd. I got to figure out a way to keep Nick Gordon out there, though. He's hitting. What am I doing? Schmidt. Move him up. Do that. Do that. Do that. Against righties. I guess at this point, no reason to have Crawford even playing, right? It just doesn't make any sense. We'll get Gordon out there 3 times a week. And we'll keep going. How many pitchers do I like to have on my roster? I usually have 13. We're in last place. We are in last place. I like to have 13 pitchers typically on my roster. And then the makeup of my infield and outfield, I prefer players who can do a little bit of everything. Like Enrique Hernandez, for example, can play 6 different positions. So I like to have, my starters, obviously, and then I have the players who can play multiple positions. So I don't really have a set number for infielders and outfielders. Got here compensate. Okay, so we get our 2nd round pick compensation for Henry Allen. So hopefully next year's draft is better. So I actually feel like this would have simmed faster if I just kept going day by day. That took a long time to do 10 games, but we will keep going. Crow Armstrong has his average up to 240. Arrighetti is day to day. It's fine. I don't really care. We'll just keep going. And then obviously the number of pitchers I have will vary depending on, the era that you're playing in, right? The further back you go, the fewer you need. Winning percentage at 432. We came in at, I want to say, 418 a year ago. So, oh, look at all these injury pending. So Morel's out for 6 months. We're about to lose Justin Steele for who the hell knows how long. So we'll call Garcia up. And I'm just going to go back to day by day. It's taking just as long to do it this way. So we need a DH. Make Nick Gordon our light-hitting DH. And then I guess we'll just stick Mervis out there, right? Because we don't have anybody else. Move Swanson up. We'll leave Mervis there. We'll just keep going day by day at this point. No reason not to. It's taking just as long to sim. Lose Steele for the year. All right. Cool. I didn't want to win any more games this year anyway. We'll call Assad back up. Stick Javier back in the rotation. We'll just go a week at a time. We'll just see how that works. Not that a week is going to sim any faster than the rest of the month, but you get to this point, right? You just kind of, we lose both ends of a doubleheader. You just want to get to the end of the season, right? Just get the season over and get to the postseason and get to the offseason and do the stuff that's important. As long as there's continued improvement in the team, though, that's what you're looking. We're 61-82. We still have people coming out. Looks like we're still going to have some money next year. So at least we've got that going for us. There's another loss. This has not been a good stretch post trade deadline. There's a win. Second worst record in the National League, ahead of only the Nationals. Or I guess technically a half game better than the Pirates too. The White Sox are 50-94, so no good baseball in the city of Chicago for a couple of seasons here. 50-95 are the White Sox. That's really bad. We beat Spencer Strider and the Braves 8-2. Drew Smiley is, I don't care. Drew Smiley's really angry at us. That's fine. Crow Armstrong's up to almost 250. If he can hit 250, he becomes like uber valuable, right? With his outfield defense. Griffin pitches 6 shutout. Nunez blows the save. Coleman gets the win. It's fine. So we're almost there. Almost at the end of the season. We can start getting into the fun stuff. Get into the fun stuff here in just a minute. So it looks like we're going to come up. I mean, we might hit that 440 to 500 mark that I was looking for. It's going to take some wins here down the stretch, and we've got Milwaukee and San Diego, which isn't going to make things any easier for us. But Aaron Judge sitting 340. Triple Crown is not that far off. Tim Anderson was traded to Cleveland. Look at that, the Guardians. Judge leads the American League in home runs. He's tied for the American League in home runs. Leads the American League in batting, and he now leads the American League in RBIs. Yeah, we're not going to hit that 440. I don't think. This has been a rough month and a half of baseball. We just won a couple games in a row. We're still waiting on Alex to export in our online league so we can get the regular season underway. $67-89. We finished 67-94 a year ago, so one more win, and we have a better record than we had a year ago, which, again, that's all I'm looking for. Crow Armstrong, that contact is up to 55 with a potential of 60 now. Porter Hodge gets better. That's nice. He'll probably be in AAA next year. He's not very good, but a couple of good pitches. Alcantara's power gets better, but he's still out for 5 months. Will Taylor gets better. See this? Look at this, guys. This is good. We like this growth. We like that. We like to see these numbers go up. So that's nice to see out of Will Taylor. Still probably not a number 4 overall pick, but if this is what he ends up as, this is a legit leadoff hitter. So I'm excited about that. That is cool. Let's go ahead and finish the regular season. 67-89. We need one more win to exceed last year's win total. We have 5 more shots added here, 2 against Milwaukee, 3 against St. Louis, all division rivals. We pick up a win there over Milwaukee, so we do end up with a better record this season than we had last year. May only be by 1 game, but growth is growth. See, we win another game, back-to-back wins over, we beat St. Louis here, and we knocked St. Louis out of the playoff race. You got to love that as a Cubs fan, right? We're not going to make it. They can't make it either. Will Taylor is very grown. Yeah, I struggled with it because we had the 4th overall pick, and that just he didn't feel elite enough for a number 4 pick, but maybe that's not what we should be aiming for. So we won our last, 4 games? 5 games. So we do finish with that plus 440 winning percentage that I was looking for. You like to see that. That's good. You don't, however, like to see this. Hopefully this isn't a long-term thing. You had a really, really good rookie campaign for us. Offensively, we were a disaster other than Swanson and Schmidt. Those two guys both had pretty decent seasons for us. A lot of this war is glove oriented, I think, but they were both slightly above league average with the bat, which is good. Horner really struggled with his bat this year. That was a little concerning. Suzuki ended up with 20 home runs, which is fine. I mean, if he can give us this every year, we can live with the contract, I suppose. Velasquez hit 18 home runs. Abreu, I'm fine with Abreu. If the contact dropped, I hoped that would stay closer to 50, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Grandal was meh. Nick Gordon was really good after we picked him up. 282, 335, 468. Crow Armstrong hit 230, but we expect more out of him next season. And then everybody else was varying degrees of average to below average. The pitcher might have been okay. You didn't look at how developed his pitches were. You were playing the resident. Yeah, you've been playing a lot of that. You've been playing a lot of that lately. You must be enjoying it. From pitching perspective, Matt Brash, FJ's boy, had a fantastic first full season for us as a starter. Led the National League, tied for the National League in starts. He did lead the National League in walks, but still put up a 1.30 ERA plus. You like that. Foster Griffin, who we picked off of the Rule 5, was fine. I mean, he was pretty good, frankly. Nunez was good. He got hurt right at the end of the year. So, who we signed to a 4-year, $1.1 million per year contract. I'm happy with this contract for sure. 1.10 ERA plus. That looks pretty good too. Eric Getty wasn't particularly good with us, but I still believe in those ratings. He's got 3+ pitches. Smiley's gone. Coleman, 157 ERA plus. Yeah, he was really good too. 44 strikeouts in 36 innings. So we have a pretty solid back of our bullpen. It's just the rest of the team that sucks. You actually haven't played for... Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's get to the international showcase. So you got the Twins, the Yankees, the Rangers, the Angels, with the Guardians and the Rays in the American League. Brewers, Mets, Marlins, and Reds make it in the National League with the Dodgers and the Braves awaiting the wild card winners. I love seeing the Marlins in there. They're also playing on the hardest difficulty. Mike Tauchman is retiring. Who do you play for? Is it Yankee? Yeah. That's why I recognize the name. Okay, that's not terrible. I mean, it's not good. Partially torn labrum's not good, but at least he won't be out through next season. So what do we got going on in the wild cards? Twins, Yankees, American League are all tied up. In the National League, they're all tied up. Yankees and Angels. So it'll be the Yankees and the Guardians, Angels and the Rays, the Braves and the Brewers, the Dodgers and the Marlins. Let's go. I'm a Miami Marlin fan here. I want to see a Marlins-Brewers National League Championship Series. That's what I want to see. I don't think I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to get Braves and Dodgers, but I want to see Brewers and Marlins. Yankees sweep the Guardians. Angels up 2-1 on the Rays. And, okay, we are at International Amateurs, so let's do some of that. International, invite more. What do we got? All right, so for pitchers, we got Juan Villarreal. Yep, we'll invite him because he looks pretty good. Arturo Navarro, I like him a lot. How much does he only wants 1.6. We'll invite him. Guerrero, we'll invite him. Bravo isn't a starter. So we'll start with those three. Let's get batters. Ton of hitters. Let's just invite all 380 potential overall guys right off the bat. Aguilar is kind of a douche, so we won't invite him. We will invite Flores. We will invite Rodas. We will invite Zendejas. I don't like his profile at all. Guadalupe Posadas. We'll invite him. Ramos, probably a third baseman rather than a shortstop, but we will invite him. Fosno. We'll invite Guardado. All right. Whoa. Manfred in shambles. Why is Manfred in shambles? Don't pick Villarreal. Why? He looks good. Oh, the changeup probably never develops. But I don't know if that's still a thing in this version, but I know that was a thing in previous versions. Let's go ahead and cool. All right, so let's go. I think we just go to next month. I don't think the playoffs will be over by then. So the Yankees and the Angels in the ALCS. The Marlins looking to win Game 5. Can the Marlins advance? Is it going to be the Dodgers? Come on. Marlins, let's go. Ben Brown is eligible to come off. I don't care. I don't care. We will send him to AAA. I want to save. I don't remember if I had this set up to save every month. Oh, Manfred is in shambles over the Brewers Marlins World Series. Yeah. It seems like it's still a thing. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Damn, the Dodgers won. So look at Manfred's not in shambles. He's got Los Angeles, New York, and the Braves. Yeah, that's what I thought. Random task when I went back and looked at him. So we'll focus on the offense. Yeah, so you got the Yankee. That's a boring championship series. I mean, unless you're a fan of one of those teams, like who do you? I guess here you're rooting for the Angels, right? Because you want Ohtani and Trout to get a shot at it. But otherwise, like, meh. Dodgers take out the Braves in 5. And so this is like the worst case scenario for Major League Baseball. Not from a viewership perspective, right? Like, I mean, people are going to watch this series, but these games are all going to start at like 11 o'clock Eastern time. Like, who on the East Coast is going to watch the Dodgers and Angels in the World Series for 7 games and stay up until 2 in the morning, unless you're a fan of one of those teams? I remember when the Red Sox and Dodgers in 2018, they had that 18-inning game. Like, I am as big a Red Sox fan as you will find, and I couldn't even stay up to the end of that game. I made it to the end of the game, but I told myself that if it didn't end at the end of 18, I was going to bed, and I was just going to find out what happened the next day. We got to go back to scouting and international, and we will just run practice. Anybody that we really want our focus on? Which of these 80 guys? I mean, I think of the 80s, Esquivel is probably, Jose hates him. I don't know. We still got to get some more scouting before we can really determine, I think. But let's get to the end of the playoffs. So we're rooting for Trout and Ohtani here in the World Series against the Dodgers. Dodgers win Game 3. And I can't even remember because I know I had this same setup in another World Series, but I don't remember if it was in my Cubs playthrough, if it was in my White Sox playthrough, if it was in my Red Sox playthrough offline. I just can't remember. So the Angels came back. Ugh, crap. Stupid Dodgers. Hate the Dodgers winning the World Series every single year. Garbage. Austin Riley drove in 145 runs for the Braves. That is goofy. All right. So before we do anything, goodbye. All right. So that's that. He was happy we picked up Schmidt. Yeah, I mean, he's good with my performance. New budget, team payroll of about $150 million. So that gives us $22 million-ish for next season. Tyone didn't retire. That's really disappointing. That one's going to hurt. And then we got to try moving on from Seiya here at some point. We will be able to save a little bit of money in arbitration, I think, which will be good. But top prospects, we don't have anybody. Yeah, Theo Gillen. He was the top pick in the draft this past season. Did he sign? Yeah, he signed. Okay. Of course, he's a top prospect. Major League Baseball breaking news. The mound has been lowered. Offense is expected. Okay, so here's an interesting question. Do you guys want me to leave that, Or do you want me to, I don't know how I can change that. I don't think I can change that back. Can I? I don't know that that's one I can change. Where is it? Yeah. Is this, well, I don't know that I can change it back. Do you want, I guess we just leave it at this point, right? You believe the Subway Series? Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I think all we have to do is arb, right? We got to do arbitration. Arizona fired their GM. We have a good scout. Again, it's my White Sox playthrough where we need to change our scout. Arbitration. Okay. So Crawford, Grandal, and Smiley are all gone. Master, yeah, I think we're good letting these guys go. He was a 29-year-old in high A ball. I'm fine with that. You can change the modifier back to 1.0. You always turn that stuff off. It would help your offense conveniently. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it. I mean, it changes things, and I'm okay with that. All right, so ARB numbers. So Justin Steele wants 2.8. So we should be able to get like 2.675. Keegan Thompson, I'm not going to offer him anything. I don't particularly care if he walks. Alzolay, I mean, it's such a nothing burger contract, right? Like 1.4 million. You can undo it. You'd be messing with the stats setting, I think, manually. I think I'm just going to leave it. We'll see how drastic it changes the offense, and if I have to go in and change it, I will, but I'm just going to leave it. It's going to change it for everybody, so it should be fine. Alzolay, I'll think about. I don't really know yet. Schmidt, we'll sign him. I like the extreme ground ballness of him. I don't know. He's not interested in talking to us, all right? Garrett Stubbs, he was really, really bad, and $3.8 million is a lot of money. It will leave us without a catcher, but I think I'm okay with that. We've got a Maya that we can call up who was really bad as well, but I don't know. I think $3.8 million is a lot of money for a bad catcher. Gordon wants 1.9. We'll give him 1.8, I think. Or is it going to have to be 1.825? Yeah, it's going to be 1.825. Nico Horner and Morel. Morel wants 1.4. No, it's going to be 1.35. That's a P. That's not a number. Alcantara, meh. Horner wants 7.5 million, so we should be able to do what, like 7.1? So that's 71 million. 7.2. Yeah. All right. So Schmidt doesn't want to talk. Alzolay, we'll just sign him. I don't care. It's like, again, it's like a nothing contract. Probably won't be able to get a better reliever for that amount of money. So it comes down to Stubbs. What do I want to do with Garrett Stubbs? He's 31 years old. Just 31. I don't see any value in keeping him on. So we're just going to go ahead and not offer him a qualifying offer. I don't think we're going to get any fan interest bumps. We may get one from Horner because he's popular locally, but that should be about it, I would think. Right, we got all these players injured that need to be back there. Let's go ahead and sim ahead. So we should have, I think that's at about $25 million. Again, I want to put some of it into scouting and development, but I also want to see if we can do anything from a free agency standpoint. Yeah, so we didn't get fan interest bumps on any of those. That's disappointing. I mean, it's not going to leave us with much wiggle room. I don't know that we're going to be able to do a lot in free agency. It's that Tyon and Suzuki contracts. That's $36 million tied up between two really, I don't want to say bad players. Tyon's terrible. Can we get out of this at all? That's rough. I think we wait until free agency and then try again. And maybe there'll be an international guy that will, be worth dropping scouting and development to sign. Gold Gloves, the American League, Mackenzie Vasquez, Vlad Espinal, Arias, Correa, Kwan, Miles Straw, Hunter Renfroe, back with the Red Sox. In the National League, Fried, Murphy, Freeman, Tovar, Cabrian Hayes, Lindor, Trace Thompson, Grisham, and Kepler. Cool. Reliever, Josh Hader in the American League. In the National League, Joe Jimenez. Thought we might get a vote or two there, but we didn't pick up those players till early enough. Platinum Stick, Rortvit for Seattle. Must have been a bad... Oh, he hit 27 home runs. I thought that said he had 3 home runs. Vlad, Jimenez, Franco, Gunnar Henderson, Arozarena, Springer, Judge, and Ohtani. In the National League, Real Muto, Soto, Garcia, Riley, Turner, Bryant, Michael Harris, Bryce Harper, Juan Yepes. I love Juan Soto playing first base for San Diego this season. Rookie of the Year in the American League, Edgar Quero. And in the National League, Edwin Arroyo for Cincinnati. Had a pretty darn good year. Manager of the Year, Kevin Cash, Dave Roberts, Cy Young, DeGrom, 18-8, 286, followed by Woodruff and Gaussman. And in the NL, Nick Lodolo, 14-8 with a 2.45, followed by Aaron Nola, which was somebody that we wanted. I thought about signing last season. He signed that's a really nice contract. That is a really nice contract, Atlanta. Nicely done. And your most valuable players. Aaron Judge, 326, 42 home runs, 109 RBIs. Andre Jimenez finishes second. Vlad, Gunnar Henderson, and in the National League, Bryce Harper for Philadelphia, 303, 49 home runs, 112 RBIs. Austin Riley with his 145 runs knocked in, followed by Freddie Freeman and Nolan Arenado. Hall of Fame voting. I'm not going to do. The last time I tried to do Hall of Fame voting, I crashed my game. So when we get to free agency, do I sacrifice scouting and development if there's a free agent that makes sense? Or do I stick to the plan and then just improve scouting and development and at the expense of what happens on the field? What do you think? So Schmidt receives 240, 1 and 3. That's fine. I got to do scouting again. Let's do scouting before we look at any of those international guys. So at least we're going to have really good relationships with them all. So that's at least positive. All right. Let's look at international amateur or the international free agents. Anybody any good? He already signed with Oakland, so that thing still happens. And they've all already signed with somebody. So that's still a thing. All in. So of course Josh wants me to go. It's not his money. So what do we got for free agency? We got Tim Anderson is on there. So it looks like, did Bregman resign? I'm really confused. Did they sign him to a 1-year extension? Yeah. Oh, he took the qualifying offer. That's shocking. Wow, that's shocking. All right, let's see what we got. We got $36 million to play with. So, yeah. We have $36 million. So we don't have to do anything. We can just stick with our plan. I like Tim Anderson. I don't know that I like Tim Anderson at $32 million. Bregman really was that plan. Put him at first base. Well, he didn't have a good year last year, Ashton. That's I think the reason. He had he put up 1.6 WAR. He had 238. I mean, would they trade him? Are they interested in trading him? Like, I'll take him without retaining. I mean, I absolutely would take him without retaining. Get him for $19 million for a year and then just sort of see how it goes. I saw Abreu in there for like $2 million. That's an offer I'm going to make. Sign Casado. Yeah, I saw him. I'll take a look at him in a second. I want to sign Abreu. Probably get him for 1.4. Any other? Just put together the greatest bullpen in the history of the world. Batters. Casado's terrible. He's terrible. Low is awful. I'm not signing him. He's off. He's awful. We'll see what they tell. They'll see what they tell us. I might give them. I might throw in an Albert Chu to see if that entices them at all. So we do need a catcher, and it was a good move dropping Stubbs because now he only wants 2.6. We could probably bring him back. I mean, if we look at our team, I can get Bregman. We put Bregman at first. Then we've got Bregman, Horner, Swanson, and Schmidt. That's not a terrible infield. That is a workable infield. You got Gordon to back up all the infield positions. Crow Armstrong in center. That really just means that we need to upgrade our corner outfield, and we can't do anything with Suzuki yet. So, and then from a pitching perspective, I mean, our pitching staff isn't bad. I wouldn't mind adding a starter. I mean, I feel like adding a starter probably would be good because I don't think we can count on Miller and Griffin going forward. Brash and So, I think, are definitely in. So if we can find a starter that isn't going to cost us a ton, let's just sim ahead a day first and see what Houston tells us about that trade offer. Well, Casey Schmidt. Okay, well, you can't have Casey Schmidt. You can, however, have Alan Chu. We may have to up the ante here a little bit more than I would care to. I mean, would I be okay giving them Porter Hodge? The game seems to like Hodge as he's ranked as the 63rd prospect, but I don't particularly like him. Mule's not a starter, but you can have him. Yeah, so we're not even close. Ugh. That sucks. Bregman is really the one I wanted. Like, I don't even think this is going to be enough. Yeah. That sucks. Maybe when we get to the winter meetings, they'll be thinking different. I don't know, but I'm not giving Tim Anderson $32 million. That's stupid. I mean, how can you say no to a pitcher with that kind of stuff and those types of pitches? I mean, in Wrigley, it's probably going to be a disaster, but I mean, for 1.5, we do need bullpen arms. So let's give him a major league contract at 1.25. Really? Yeah, I wanted him at my number. Yeah, that's disappointing. That's surprising, actually. That number one, he turned down the qualifying offer, and that number two, they're not even willing to discuss. Well, they're willing to discuss it. They just want more than I'm willing to give them. There's not. I mean, if we wanted a bat, we could. I mean, we talked to Goldschmidt, but he's 37 years old. I mean, he absolutely rakes. But at 37 and to give up a compensation pick, I don't think that's the right move for us. Anthony Rizzo, bring him home? No. That sucks. That was the move, right? Like that was the big fish because it turned out we were going to have money to do it too. They'll regret this one, too. Yeah, we'll see. It sucks, guys. That's disappointing. That is disappointing. I was thinking maybe he's on the trade block. Somebody take him off my hands. Yeah, we're down to 2 years now. Maybe that makes a difference. Nope. Look at that. It's just a stupid contract. Just a stupid contract. Just want to see. Is he streaming it right now? Well, I can't do that. I can't watch. I'm streaming myself. I can't watch that. Bring Javi Baez home. Yeah, it's really disappointing. I mean, the thing with Suzuki is he doesn't really have a platoon split. He's just not that good. I mean, his ratings are exactly the same. Well, I guess he's a slightly better against lefties. So in 2 years, we're going to be free and clear from just about everything. We're not going to have Suzuki's contract. He's not. Oh, I should stream it. No, I don't want to stream that. I want to stream this. And I want Alex Bregman. Now I'm now I really want Bregman. Let's him ahead a few days. So it looks like Brendan Rodgers got traded. All right. Said Mullins is good. We don't really need him. I mean, imagine if we could come up with a way to trade for both Real Muto and Bregman in the same off season. Like, you don't have to retain. Like, what do you want? What do you want for? Oh, he's exercising his 10-5. Really, he's been in Philadelphia for 5 years. I guess he has. Well, that's an option to keep in mind for next season. Definitely is an option to keep in mind for next season as well, since we're going to have some money. See, now they're in win now mode, though. They were trying to trade him last year. Now they're not trying to trade him. I mean, I wouldn't try to trade him either at $19 million. That's a bargain. Hodge is not that good. I don't know why the game likes him. Is it because of the 2 pitches? I would give you Hodge and Alcantara. This won't get it done, but let's keep trying. I mean, at least that feels closer. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Damn! The AI always screwing with my plans. AI always screwing with my plans. What does... Goldschmidt wants 25. Do I really want to pay a 37-year-old first baseman who can, I mean, admittedly still absolutely rake? The Reds have offered him a 3-year contract with $22 million. Is Hodge getting better? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. His overall and his potential have stayed the same. Well, really for the last year. He went up a little bit. His overalls went up a little bit last year, but his potential has all stayed the same. Game likes him so much. Let's see what we can get for him. I mean, okay. Sure. That's a ridiculous contract. And again, I don't want to just replicate what I did in my White Sox playthrough. My mic is echoing. I am not doing anything, Ashton. I'm literally just sitting here. I haven't touched anything, so I'm not sure what the issue is. Raffy, but that contract is awful. Casey Mize. The game really, really likes Porter Hodge, so I think we have to take advantage of this, right? Is it Acuna? Is that the answer? Is it Ronald Acuna? 4 years at $17 million? I think I might see what other might see what prospects are available, because I mean we're getting every team is offering us 5 players, so this is nuts. Yeah, I think Acuna is the answer, but let's see what options we have for prospects. It's not a bad idea, Ratatat. It's not a bad idea. I mean, Max Wagner looks really good. We'll take a look at that too. I didn't realize the game liked him this much. Isaac Pacheco from Detroit. Tamar Johnson. It's bizarre that he's on this list. He didn't develop. I think we go talk to Atlanta. If they're that interested in Hodge, maybe we can convince them to somehow take Suzuki. So let's do it this way. Ronald Acuna. You think we'd regret it? What if I just added in, like if I just threw in, where is he? You will not. Oh, we get the I will not accept trades for vastly overpaid veterans. What if I take 50% back? You want Crow Armstrong or Casey Schmidt? What if I did 75%? Okay. Either way, we're getting Ronald Acuna. Get Fried and Acuna. I don't know that we can afford that. That's a lot of money for a starting pitcher. Can we afford this? You would have to give. You don't have enough money to give me. Yeah, I mean they're not going to take this deal. I can't get Acuna and Fried. Yeah, I saw that too. There have been a couple that have been like that where it's been like, yeah, this is not going to happen. I want to try one other thing. Before we kind of land on that deal. We want to come in here and we want to go prospects and we want to go Hodge. That's how bad Suzuki's contract is. We can bring back Javi Baez. All right. Let's go back to this screen. Let's do this. Let's see if we can get them to retain. If they want him that badly, let's see if we can get them to retain. Oh, friggin' wonderful. Okay, so that's not going to happen at 50. What about 35? I mean, he's good defensively. Let's go down to 30. We're getting close. Not close enough, but we're getting close. Are we there? I think we might be there. Turn around and trade Brennan. We need a catcher. Aliendo very well could be our starting catcher this year with the work ethic and that ability, so I can't trade him. Let's go down to 20. All right, I think we're there. Grant Kipp. Sure. Porter Hodge and Grant Kipp to the Atlanta Braves for Ronald Acuna Jr. with 20% of the contract retained. We pick up Acuna. He becomes our starting left fielder. The ratings have dipped a little bit, but it looks like he's up and down. And, now we're only paying him like $12 million until he's 30. I feel like that's a pretty solid pickup in lieu of not being able to get Bregman. Now we've got a lot of outfielders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outfielders on our roster. One of them's got to go. I would love it to be Suzuki. I have a feeling it's probably going to be Abreu, who's probably going to end up in the minor leagues. So that means Acuna's now our leadoff hitter and left fielder, right? Especially against lefties. All right. So that helps. That fills one of those. You can't trade the made. I don't know what you're trying to say. Random task. But I do want to put Aliendo on the 40-man. He's likely, like I said, he's likely to be our starting catcher this year since we have him and Amaya. Okay, so we should still have, we have a $20 million left. We're going to need pitching now that we are without, Steele for a while. I waived Suzuki yet. Random task, man. You can go watch that stream. You know I'm not keeping you here, brother. You can go do whatever you'd like. Pablo Lopez is compensation. What type of contract does he want? 6 years, a long contract. I mean, if I could cut that down to like 3 years. Looks like his potential control went up. His ratings themselves have stayed pretty consistent for a couple of years. No, that was the contract, Josh, that Suzuki signed out of Japan. That's not terrible for Lopez. Robbie Ray. Oh, goof. I prefer Lopez to Ray. What other options are there? Because we are going to need a starting pitcher now. Not a lot. Luis Sessa, who can't stay healthy. Sonny Gray. That's a whole lot of crap, guys. Problem with Lopez is that, like, if I offered him that, we just don't have a lot of depth in our minor. We just don't have a lot of pitching. We don't have a lot of pitching depth. So right now our starters are Brash, So, Assad, Miller, and Griffin. I mean, we could move Clark Schmidt into the rotation. We could, stick Tyone back in there, I guess. I mean, would he take 4? Yeah, he wants 6. I can't give him 6 years. Can't give him 6 years. What do we have on the trade block? Okay. I talk about not wanting to make myself Chicago North, but I mean, at least take a shot at it here. You have serious doubts about that deal. Not enough. Offer a little bit more. Only Crow Armstrong, huh? Okay. So we got Birdsell. I guess we have a little bit of depth. I mean, none of it's any good, but we have a little bit of depth. Alan Chu. We could trade our first-round pick from last season. Does he have any value? Let's see. No interest in that. So the Marlins will send us a couple of bad prospects if we send them Tyone and retain the whole thing. It's not interesting to me. Let's get to the winter meetings. Yeah, I think we're going to struggle with our starting pitching this year, which is surprising given that our starting pitching was like our best, the best part of our team last year. Did we fall out of the bottom 5? No, we had a really hot, look at the Orioles moving from 13 to 6. I think we had a really hot end of the season, which may have bumped us out of like this top 5 or 6. So, trade block. Dylan Cease is that target, right? Like he's that guy. Gallen's not as good, so maybe Gallen is the play. Is that any interest to Arizona? Made's good, but is he? He would be the guy who comes in if Swanson gets hurt. Morel's been bad. Velazquez. Do I make this deal? Do I trade one of these players? Alcantara and Mule, who I don't care about. Alcantara. He could be good, but he's a corner outfielder. He's injured. San Diego Padres 11-4 too. What? I don't know. Is this a deal that I make? Is this do I try to move? Am I overvaluing Made because of his defense, which is good but maybe not great? I feel like this is an acceptable deal for a Zach Gallen. He's had 3 solid seasons in a row with Arizona. He's durable. He's thrown almost 200 innings. What do you guys think? That would complete our offseason, right? Picking up Zach Gallen and Acuna. Get some fan interest bump from it. Yep. Get fan interest bump. Bring some people in. He's an elite defensive third baseman. This bat doesn't play at third base. He would be a very good utility guy. He would be a very good utility guy. The other names that they talked about were Morel, who can play everything pretty, at least average to above average. He's a better bat. That's what I'm thinking too, Ratatat, is that the bat just isn't worth it. So really the only actual prospect that I'm giving up here is Alcantara. And we've got, I think, enough outfield depth that this is okay. We're going to make this deal. Traded for an all-star. Fan interest increased slightly, really just slightly, huh? But we get our ace, essentially. So now we can move everybody down run. So it'll be Gallen, Brash, and then So. How's he developing? He's not, but that's fine. So let's now get to the Rule 5. Yeah, elite defensively, below average with the bat. Very below average with the bat. All right. Anybody we need to put on the 40-man? I think Ryan Jensen is terrible. I was thinking maybe we needed to put him on there in case we needed another pitcher, but we have room, but let's see what's available first. I think Espinoza needs to go on the 40-man. He looks like he could provide depth if needed. Ezekiel Pagan, no. Pinango is just forever going to live on the Rule 5. He's been in the Rule 5, I want to say, for the last 8 or 9 out of the park baseball games. How's Taylor doing? Yeah, love the development. The avoid K is getting better. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. I still don't know if he's worth the 4th overall pick, but he's going to be good. All right, so there's nobody we need to put on the 40-man. So let's get into the Rule 5. Oh, crap, it's 9:30. Okay. I wasn't planning on streaming past 9. We'll get through the Rule 5. We'll try to get up to international free agents, and then I will probably call it. I got to be up early tomorrow. Let's start the draft. And draft until Chicago. So we got Ignacio Feliz. I mean, we wanted a pitcher. We wanted a starting pitcher. We could take Feliz from Baltimore. Ground ball pitcher with decent stuff, decent movement, a couple of good pitches, no fastball. He throws really, really slow. Ronnie Henriquez. He doesn't look bad. Terrible, but man, he doesn't look awful. We need the data, and we'll keep an eye, and we'll see if there's anything else. He doesn't look terrible. Why did you have 2 messages redacted? What did you say? Did you say something inappropriate? I'll ban you. Antoine Kelly, that control is just brutal. Peter Lambert. It's only looking at starting pitchers. That's why. All pitchers. See if we can find another bullpen arm to add to our Scott Efros. Those are good numbers, man. Like, I don't care what the ratings say. Like, those are good ratings. Better against righties than he is lefties. Just said Taylor. Gotcha. I didn't think you were being inappropriate. You're just sarcastic, which I'm fine with. Brian Buelvas, another player who's always on the Rule 5. I don't know if there's anything we're going to do with the Rule 5. Nothing's really exciting me here. We do still need a catcher. It's something I need to remember. Pick up Blake Hunt. Probably not a bad idea. Grab Blake Hunt, and we'll run with a starting backstop of a couple of rookies. Yeah. Blake Hunt. All right. I think we're good. We have enough pitchers, right? Like, we don't need. We have 16 on our roster right now. 15 minus Steele. Back to the Rule 5. We will continue the draft. We will complete the draft. Cal Quantrill, the top pick from the Red Sox. They lost Fleming and Hunt. Fleming would have been a nice pick. That would have been a nice pickup. Can we trade for him? I like him. Can't possibly have to give up much for him. That's right. I have trade difficulty on hard. I don't want to give up anything of real note, but if we can get him for something minor, like a couple of players that I have no real interest in, get us some more depth. Do you now? Classy boy. Let's go to next month. We're going to hold off on trading for Fleming, I think. How are my loggers doing over in SSB? Still lists me as the Athletics. Looks like I won 2 of my first 3. Now, we're going to get up to international amateurs, and then I'm going to end the stream. It's January 1st. Let's do scouting, international, run practice. And let's get to international free agent signing. Personal message. Yeah, the game loves Brian Abreu, and we can sign him for like next to nothing. So awesome. So our fan interest up to a 75 now. Fans are coming out. I forgot to raise ticket prices. Damn it. All right. International amateurs. Jonathan Edwards. That's right. We signed a couple more pitchers, which is fine. Gallon deal's good. Should be able to re-sign him if he's good enough. Tyone's deal, we need to figure out what the hell we're going to do with that, because we could, if we can get out from Tyon and or Suzuki, then that allows us to be a player next year in free agency as well. So we'll see how that goes. We were able to bump scouting and development, not as high as I would like, but we're getting there. We're getting there with both of them. If I can get scouting up to about 25, or scouting up to about 25 and development up to about 30, I'd be happy with that. All right, so we're at international amateurs. Let's look at all the players we have very strong relationships with. Where do we start? On Cuevas, high work ethic. He's not a shortstop, though. Domingo Esquivel. He's the Energizer Bunny. He's a left fielder, maybe. Guerrero. Again, the changeup likely never develops. Kind of like an Arturo Navarro. And Villarreal was the other one, right? Yeah. Zendejas, right fielder. I think if we can get Zendejas and Navarro, I think we consider that a pretty solid 1-2 punch. So we've got what, 5? How much do we have? 5.37. So if we offer him 3.5, that doesn't leave us enough. Let's offer him 3. And then Navarro, we've got 2, 3. Is that enough? Yeah. All right, let's see how that goes. I have a feeling we get outbid on both, but we will see how it goes. Navarro does look good for the money. I don't think we're going to get him. I have a feeling I'm going to have to pick one or the other, but we will see. The very high league interest is what concerns me for both of them. We got them both. That is freaking awesome. So we get Navarro at $2.3 million. Probably a 3-pitch pitcher. The changeup probably doesn't develop, but high work ethic. And then we pick up Zendejas, who's probably a right fielder. But, yeah, got a cannon for an arm. He's already 18 years old. So cool. Let's just quickly sim up to preseason and see if we get a bump to our budget because we had a good off season. And then I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna go sit on the couch and watch TV for, I don't know, hour and a half, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, boy, love to see that. Budget raised from 186 to 200 million dollars. So we have $15 million left for this year. We've got 7.5 for next season. Yeah, our payroll. What does Gallon want? Okay, that's not an unreasonable contract. I can probably work with that, given our extension money. I can probably get him to take 15 next year. So that's something I will work on. Yeah, I love the way international amateur works now. We just picked up 2 potentially really solid players. Oh, Nico Horner is a free agent. That's a potential issue, but that's not an unreasonable contract either. But to bring back both Gallon and Horner, one of these contracts is going to have to go away. So I will see what I can do there. So that's it, guys. I'm done. I'm spent for the night. I was planning on recording this video on Monday, but you guys get it a day early, so it'll get posted here probably tomorrow for anybody who checked in and out and wants to watch the whole thing. But yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be pretty busy days for me from a work perspective, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to do much recording. I hope to get a video recorded for both this and GM Games. We'll see what happens. But at any rate, guys, come hang out with me tomorrow night. I will be over on Twitch on GM Games doing the White Sox. We are, I don't even remember where we're. I think we're at opening day. I can't even remember at this point. I think we're at opening day with the White Sox in year 2. And yeah, that's going to do it. So, guys, have a good night. Have fun playing your out of the park baseball. And I will talk to you all tomorrow night. Don't forget, those of you who are still on the channel who don't have a copy of Out of the Park Baseball 24, tomorrow night you will get an opportunity to win one. So, yeah, I will talk to everybody later.